What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Saw an article here on NBC Sports today, and maybe I knew about this and I forgot while I was on my little vacation, or I didn't know at all. Either way, it sucks to see it. Coach Pop says Spurs Zach Collins likely out until after Christmas. Spurs fans, let me know what you think about that. If you're just hearing about this today, if you already knew, drop a comment down below what you think about this as well. Hit that thumbs up if you like sports channel and subscribe to more Spurs content. Let's get into the meat of the article. That the rebuilding Spurs took a chance on Zach Collins this offseason was not a huge surprise. A 7-foot center who plays quality defense and can shoot the three is worth the roll of the dice. Nat 20. You get the reference? All right. Even coming off another ankle surgery. By the way, I believe Zach Collins has had three, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 or 3 surgeries on the same ankle they're referencing. The fact that he gave him $7 million this season was a surprise. It was reported as a 3-year, $22 million contract. However, this season and only $3.7 million of next season are guaranteed. So the first season he's getting all of it, which is like a little over $7 million. Second season he's getting half of it. Third season, none of it's guaranteed. And when we talk to guarantee status, so I think that's high risk, high reward. I like it. I think that's a good contract. And Zach Collins didn't really have a strong bargaining position based on his recent injuries. So I think that's a good contract for both parties. What else do they say? When will the Spurs get to see this gamble pay off? Well, it's like after Christmas, per Coach Pop via Tom Osborne of the San Antonio Express News. What did he have to say? Tom Osborne reports. Pop says the last he's heard from medical staff is that the timeline for Zach Collins' ankle to return is after Christmas. He added that he's not sure what that means exactly. It is a positive report, though, for a young player who has been through a lot injury-wise. It's a bummer. I will say this, my own 2 cents. I was hoping to see him on the court this year. I didn't think he'd be ready for the regular season over based on what I read, but I thought maybe we could see him sometime in late November, early December at the latest, but it looks like that's out of the question. I don't think we're going to see him play in 2021. If it's after Christmas, I just imagine he'll make his debut sometime in January. To continue on with the NBC News article, Collins has battled injuries through his 3 NBA seasons. That is a fact. He played only 11 games last season with the Blazers. He had to repair a medial malleolus stress fracture in his left ankle. That sounds bad, and nor can I say some of those words correctly. When he played last season, though, 7 points a game, 6.3 boards, solid D. More importantly, he shot 36.8% from the three beyond the arc. Jeez, I'm sorry, I got the Giants game on the background. I know some of you guys can't stand that. I'm a Giants fan and a Spurs fan. It is what it is. What can I say? The Giants suck. They do. Anyway, I like Jakob Poeltl, who they're referencing in the next paragraph. Could Zach Collins eventually take over the Jakob Poeltl position if he could play similar, take over a starting spot, if he could play similar defense, but spread the floor? This is not back in the days of David Robinson where, your big man didn't shoot threes. So David did hit a couple threes in his career. But Zach Collins, maybe he could work out to be a 40% three-point shooter, which gives us a legit outside threat. And you just can't be putting everybody in the paint. We have guys that like to drive into the paint. Kelvin Johnson, DeJounte Murray, Derek White. We have guys that like to slash and get in there and do their thing. And I've mentioned it before, spreading the floor is going to help this team, which I think this season is going to be very interesting, Spurs fans. I like DeMar DeRozan. I think he might be a little underrated to the Spurs. People tend to just look at the win-loss record for the last 2 seasons and say, he's not an all-star, He was a really good player. But his offense was predictable. He had a decent to good mid-range jumper. He hit him quite often, but he also drove to the hoop a lot, got near, into the paint, got near the rim. He was, a close to the rim type player. And with him and having so many other players do that in our starting lineup, it was just easy to collapse into the paint and dare any of the other Spurs to hit a shot, especially from beyond the arc. And Yak's not going to hit a shot from outside 5 feet more than likely. So could Zach Collins be our starting center in the future? I don't know. Jacques Landale's out there. Could Zach Collins be our starting power forward? That's also a possibility because DeMar DeRozan was our power forward the last few seasons, even though he's not a true power forward. So if we have some changes in the offensive lineup over the next few years where maybe Zach Collins is starting at power forward, Kelvin's at the 3, where I think he naturally should be, And if Jock Landale takes over the starting spot at center, which I think correct me if I'm wrong, he can hit the three as well. Plus, if we still have DJ and Derek in the backcourt, if that's what we have, let's say next season, and we have all 5 players that can hit the three, that I think that would really help the team immensely. Maybe not have every guy on the roster hitting over or every guy in the starting lineup hitting over 40%, but if every guy is a threat to hit a three and it can hit over 33% or 38%, man, that would really spread the floor. And then defense would not just be able to collapse on us, and it could be a really fun team to watch. I'm just throwing things out here and brainstorming. You know, Zach Collins could possibly not work out for the Spurs, and this is all a moot point. Who the heck knows? Maybe Luka Samanic takes over the power forward spot next year. And I'm just kind of brainstorming. There's a lot of good possibilities coming for the Spurs, but things have to fall into place. Health is obviously a big thing. Zach Collins has got to stay healthy. He's got to prove he can. He's got to prove to the world that this ankle thing is behind him. And I hope it is, because he's young. I hope we don't hear months from now that he's got another problem with his ankle as soon as he returns to the court. So he's got to prove he's healthy. But we have other Spurs players that need to prove they're healthy. Derek White's the big one. So whatever happens, you know me, I'm going to be go Spurs go. I wish Zach Collins a speedy, continued recovery over the next few months. And hopefully we see him much sooner than later. Well, thank you all for tuning in. And as always, go Spurs go!